Well, a week from now, maybe at about this time of the morning, you and your loved ones may be opening some gifts, maybe ripping through the bags and getting through the tissue paper. But once all the paper in the bags are tossed aside, what do you do? Well, to help you out, Terry Weber with the American Forest and Paper Association joins us this morning. Welcome, Terry.
Good morning, Farah.
All right, we thank you so much for being with us. First of all, what type of gift wrapping or packaging material is safe to recycle?
Well, a really important thing to do is make sure you're following your local guidelines. So checking in with Seattle Public Utilities or King County, depending on who your service provider is really important. So we've done a little bit of that for you this morning. And in terms of paper-based packaging, the really important thing to keep in mind particularly when we're talking about these gift wrapping products and all these things that are really pretty that we love for the holidays, as long as they're made of a single material, from the paper perspective, then we're good. What we're looking to avoid are things like glitter, things that are metallic, things that have plastic components to them. That's going to make them more challenging to recycle.
All right, so Terry, you just said all the pretty things. I have some of my favorite things on the table here. This bag has a lot of glitter on the tag, also has a ribbon handle. We've got these bows that are also a little bit shiny, and then this wrapping paper that's kind of like foil, shiny material. Are any or all of these able to be recycled?
Well, starting with the bag, what I would do there is probably remove the tag. It looks like that ribbon might either be fabric-based or plastic that's holding it on there. And you said the tag had glitter on it, so that would be a good place to start there. The rest of it is probably paper-based. When you're looking at wrapping paper, sometimes they can have kind of a photo paper finish or kind of that metallic finish. A good test of whether or not something is paper-based is to crumple it up into a really tight ball. And if it stays in a really tight ball, that's a good indicator that it's paper-based rather than having plastic or metal or something that's going to try to revert back to its previous shape.
All right. Now, Terry, I know another big thing on people's minds after the gifts is where they put the gifts, is under the tree. If folks got a fresh cut tree for the holidays, how can they properly recycle those?
So the great thing about living here in the Pacific Northwest, we are a big producer of those sustainably managed and renewable fresh cut Christmas trees. And we also have great access to recycling programs. So if you have kind of at-home compost collection, you can either cut up your tree and figure out a way to get it in the bin, or I know in the community I live in, the local churches will often do tree recycling programs where you drop it off in exchange for a donation to your favorite local nonprofit.
That's excellent. And for some folks who like to get their tree out of the box and use an artificial one, if this is the time when it's run its course and needs to be thrown out, what can they do?
So those tend to be really challenging because, they'll come with lights or they'll be made of plastic. Probably the best thing to do there is contact the retailer that you got the tree from and see if there is an option for recycling it through there. Otherwise, pay very close attention to, again, the local guidelines that you see either through the city of Seattle or King County, because it's really important that we don't get materials that are not accepted for recycling in those curbside programs. So just be very careful, particularly with those materials that we know are issues.
All right, Terry, those are excellent tips. Thank you so much. It's Terry Weber with the American Forest and Paper Association. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you and happy holidays.